Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to this Friday night live. We are back together again. Welcome to this Friday night live. We are back together again. I am your host. Hello, y'all. We're back together again after a month's break. October was exciting and all of those wonderful things. I just needed to take that's like my vacation time. My vacation time. So we are back together again, and tonight we're gonna have a wonderful conversation. A wonderful conversation on tonight. Um, I want to just do my opening. Welcome to this Friday night live Love Talk with Keisha. Just want to my words of opening. This show is based on experience, growth, and maturity, and I am your host again, Lakeisha Jenkins. This is you get my love coach side, the love coach side of me. I'm a speaker. I'm an author. I'm a coach. I am a mentor. I love connecting through any of my ministries, any of my services, which include life transformational coaching, prayer calls, purpose calls, t shirt ministry, any of my books, just to show you. Pain, prayer, and purpose. Praying, prayer, and purpose. Seeking a breakthrough, which this book is a bio of my life and the challenges and experiences that have molded me and birthed me to this point. And then I have same title, Pain, Prayer, and Purpose. This is a motivational guide, motivational guide for women seeking a breakthrough. In this book, shares a little bit about dealing with forgiveness, approaching forgiveness, dealing with unresolved hurt, taking responsibility, and feelings of failure. You'll be able to journal in this book, write your thoughts in this book, release in this book, and then the last book in which I am co a co-author of this book, In Recovery, Rising from the Ruins, Stories of Restoration and Resilience. So those three books, yes, yes, yes. This show is being presented on the behalf of Self Love Ministries, which promotes self love awareness in regards to us being able to love ourselves unconditionally, especially through our challenges of seeking and needing to heal. We render conversation pertaining to discovering our brokenness and seeking new beginnings. We discuss issues surrounding all types of healing in relationships. The lies, which are the people's often opinion and judgment against us. The lust, which is the pain, the trauma, and the effects that we face on a day to day basis. And the lessons, the things that are meant to make us heal, help us heal, recover, and survive. I render truth, testimony, and transparency about my own self journey and my own self discovery. You may ask questions during the show through the comment section. And after the show, feel free to email me or inbox me letters, suggestions, questions, any of those wonderful things. So now, let's have some love talk. Love talk with Keisha. Tonight, the beautiful, the bold, and the becoming. Yes, I like that. And a lot of people was like, I like that title, Keisha. Yes. And I was like, okay. So we're going to discuss tonight the beautiful, the bold, and the becoming. So what does that mean? When you hear the word beautiful, what do you think about? When you hear bold, what do you think about? And when you hear becoming, what do you think about? So let's first start with the word beautiful. We're going to start with the word beautiful. When I speak of beautiful, I'm talking about your inside and your outside. A lot of us, um, we just focus on the outer appearance. But the most important thing is the inner. Our inner should be able to reflect from inside to outside because we can be dressed up in the physical, but be torn apart, you know, internally. So that's very important. The beautiful. We're talking about the inside and the out. the bold. We're talking about being equipped for the test and the risks that may come um, along our journey. Just being bold about it, being willing to endure those challenges, being willing to go through, learning how to, man, I'm just telling you, spiritual warfare is just one. Equipping yourself to manage that. And then we're talking about becoming her. Who do you desire to be? When you ask yourself, like, who do I desire to be? What woman do I want to be? Let's just say 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. What woman are you striving to become, you know, in the future? And I wrote down becoming her. And her stands for, the H stands for healed. Are you desiring to become the healed woman? Healed from your past, the broken relationships, the disappointment, the shame, um, you know, the abuse, whatever you have experienced in your past. The H stands for healed. And then when we get to the E, we're talking about encouraged. Finding a sense of encouragement within yourself, because that's the best encouragement that you can ever get, is getting to a point where you can encourage yourself. And then when you're able to encourage yourself, now when you get that encouraged from everybody else, like, it feels real good. And then the R, we're talking about being restored. Like being restored, not just, we're talking like being restored, that type of restoration, that spiritual restoration, that awesome feeling, knowing that you have recovered, you are recovering, you are managing. That's what we're talking about on tonight. Becoming her, the healed her, the encouraged her, and the restored her. First, I want to start by just mentioning 3 key areas. And it's going to be very interesting. 3 key areas. And the 3 key areas that I want to talk about tonight is going to be our qualities, our steps, and our characteristics. Again, y'all know I like to ask questions. So when I speak of qualities, what comes to mind? Qualities. We're talking about qualities of the woman that you are right now tonight. You're going to connect those qualities with the woman that you desire to be 6 months, a year, or 5 years from now. So when I speak about qualities, I am talking about the determination that's set in, that you are determined to become this woman, and you're going to put forth everything possible to do what's needed, that effort to become that woman. And then we're talking about the mature side, being mature enough to step into that woman of purpose. And then we're talking about being willing and committed. All of those things are connected to our qualities of becoming this woman. Next, I want to talk about the steps. What steps are needed to be taken to pursue that woman? So when we're talking about steps, we're talking about the things that cause some type of adjustment in our life. It could be change of environment. It could be so many different things. Environment is like one of the biggest things when you're trying to pursue any any advancement in your life. Your environment matters. People don't realize that. We sometimes are stuck in a place of making things harder for ourselves because we're still trying to grow in the same spot. And when you're trying to grow, like, things are supposed to fall off. You're supposed to advance beyond some things. So that's the steps. And then lastly, we're talking about characteristics. What characteristics right now, tonight, when you're thinking of that woman that you want to become 6 months, a year from now, 5 years from now, what characteristics stand out? What characteristics characteristics do you have right now for that woman? So examples of characteristics, I'm talking about your attitude right now. Does it match that woman that you want to become? Your mindset, does it match that woman that you want to become? 3 key areas: qualities, steps, and characteristics. I am speaking on experiences which I love to share my steps, my phases, my levels, because a lot of women really find themselves lost with trying to gain understanding of where to start, how to adjust to the transformation stage, and how to seek direction to become not just a better woman, but, well, to become a better woman, but to become hands-on in whatever area of your life it is that you need to grow. It is hard. It's very hard. And we're going to talk about the number one key to becoming this woman in a minute. So I want to share with you, I want to ask this question. What area of your life are you pursuing what area of your life are you pursuing to change the most to become a better person? What area of your life are you pursuing to change the most to become a better woman? When you look, it could be your mindset. It could be just your appearance. It could be your personality. It could be your character. What area of your life are you challenged the most? Are you pursuing the most when you think about becoming this woman, becoming better, becoming stronger, becoming more effective? If I was to ask myself that question thinking back of when my process started, it basically was my character, my character. Because of being a coach and an author and a speaker and wanting to do all of these things and asking God to use me and asking God to allow me to help other people, I could admit to myself that I needed to work on my character. I needed to work on my character. There were so many different things that I needed to work on. So tonight, when I am asking you, what area of your life are you pursuing the most with becoming that woman? Is it yourself? It could be yourself, just to open it up a little bit. It could be yourself, just in your singleness, or is it yourself regarding in your relationship? Is it yourself regarding in your marriage? It could be yourself regarding in your friendships. Is it yourself regarding in your parenting? Is it some type of involvement of you just becoming a better sibling or better role model? So what area of your life are you pursuing to change the most when you're thinking about becoming this woman? Okay. For me, like I said, it was my character. Um, me being more presentable, not just doing a live, but being more presentable when I was face to face with a person. So my second question would be, well, not question, but statement would be, the hardest thing to do when we are trying with anything, but the hardest thing to do with, hey, Brittany, the hardest thing to do with anything that we are striving for is discipline. Discipline. The hardest thing to do with anything that we are striving to do is discipline. And discipline plays a huge part of you being able to become the woman again in which you are seeking 6 months from now, a year from now, or 5 years from now. Here's some examples. Whether we are to, hey, Alicia, Whether we are talking about bettering our attitude, we could be talking about, as I just said, building a better character. For me, it was not that my character was bad, but my character needed to be more respectful, because I was the type of person before I really got serious with what I was doing. I would have a mean face. I would just pop off and say anything. Um, I wasn't really social. I had to work on all of those things. So I had to work on my character, first of all. So whether it's your attitude, whether it's building a respectful character, here's one: overcoming those trust issues. How many of us deal with trust issues? That's a big part, or one thing that could stand out with becoming that woman. Working past our trust issues. Um, and for me, actually, this list is the list that I wrote down for myself, actually. So this list is the list that I wrote down for myself. Striving for a better attitude, building a more respectful character, overcoming my trust issues as women. A lot of us deal with those, but those trust issues will affect you if you hide them, if you neglect them, if you ignore them. Here's the thing: we can meet the right person. God can connect us with our purpose partner. But if those trust issues are not dealt with, and that damage is not released, that damage is not approached, that damage is not attended to, it will it will cause it will be a problem. Okay. Um, for me, it was also about gaining discipline within my health, better eating habits. All of these things that I am listening caused me to gain a sense of discipline. And it was hard. Exercises, stress management, to start to go out, get out of the house and to walk and to work out one day a week, 2 days a week. Discipline. Discipline is the hardest thing to do when you are trying to grow in anything. But most definitely when you are trying to become this woman of purpose, this woman of virtue, this becoming woman that we are talking about, you have to get to a point where you can where you can examine yourself and do some self-reflection of the needed work and dedicate the effort going forward that will allow you to become that woman. Again, 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. If you I ask this question, I'll keep asking this question. Who are you becoming to be? 6 months, a year, 5 years. And what is it going to take? Um, because for some of us, depending on the damage, depending on the hurt, depending on our experiences, it can be a lot of work. And when we're talking about steps and we're talking about phases and we're talking about levels, like, you have to build, that has to be something that is built up. That has to be something um, that you're constantly growing into and you're constantly trying to maintain. Another point that I want to point out about tonight is that it's very important with becoming this woman that you learn how to invest in yourself. As I think back of the times where I was either trying to form my ministry or trying to understand my steps of becoming a life coach, so many different things, investing in myself was one of the greatest things I could have ever done. If I let the price of things keep me in a spot to say, no, that costs too much, I ain't gonna do that. you know, um, I probably would not be as confident in myself that than I as I am today. One of the biggest things that I learned along my journey was to being able to open up and being able to connect with people. I used to be the type of woman where I wanted to be on a level, only on a level with people. I wanted to be in a place just on a level where everybody was, me and everybody was. We was on the same level. And God began to take me through this understanding that I needed to connect with people that were above me, that had more experience than me. And I also was put in a place where women could gravitate towards me and I could also help them. And with doing that, it opened up the door for me to understand that I needed to invest in myself with making connections with other women and also myself. I have a business coach, I have a writing coach. Um, I have those things even in my journey today. And I'm thankful that I did not let the cost of what the services was caused me to say, "No, that's too much. I'm not going to do that." Because for everything that I sacrificed, and here's the thing, it took savings, it took me to budget, it took me to sacrifice, and lastly, it took me to set some time aside to just deal with me. So I say to somebody on tonight that is striving to become that woman, you know you need uh, this certification. You know that you need this trade. You know that you need this class. You know that you need whatever it is somebody else had. And even though your circumstance right now or your situation right now doesn't allow you to, gravitate towards that, save for it. Make some sacrifices towards it. Cut off some things. Budget yourself. And most importantly, set some time aside. So often in life, we want, and this is one of my hardest lessons, and God had to teach me this, and it took a long time. I expected to get everything I needed along this journey for free. And God began to deal with me and said, Keisha, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. You're going to have to make some sacrifices. You're going to have to, if you want to excel and you want to advance, I need you to, I need you to gain the knowledge and the understanding. And that's going to cost you. It's not going to be for free. And here's what I learned with that is that the more that I got into it, and I begin to sacrifice, I begin to set the time aside, I begin to, save and budget myself for whatever the services was that I needed. I became motivated and I became determined because now it's like I begin to run after. I begin to run after um I begin to run after my purpose. I begin to run after my gift. I began to see myself already there. And it was a sense of encouragement for me. So I say to somebody, don't be afraid to invest in yourself. Because investing in yourself is like one of the greatest things that you can ever do when you are on the journey and on the stages of becoming this woman. I like to share. I like to share my life experiences. I like to share my tests. I like to share my challenges because these are the things as women we experience on a day to day basis. So often we feel as though I'm the only person going through with anybody else dealing with this. And you really don't know until somebody speaks out and say, I'm dealing with this. Especially on Love Talk with Keisha, I like to talk about the things that people that are really dealing with. And because Love Talk with Keisha is geared around healing, when we are talking about the becoming woman, the beautiful, the bold, and the becoming, like it takes work to build this woman up. It takes work. It takes effort to allow this woman to grow. You have to separate for some things. You have to set your you sometimes you have to step away from some things. Um, as I said before, your environment matters the most. You could have the right mindset, you could have that vision for it, you could have the drive for it, but guess what? If your environment is not right, it can challenge you. It can challenge you, man. It can challenge you so bad. I can remember being in a spot where I felt I was moving, but I was challenged because my environment was testing my strength. You know, so your environment is very, very important when we are talking about becoming this woman. I've been talking about this becoming woman hashtag, whether it's been alive, because it's true. Whatever type of woman you are desiring to become, she takes work, she takes effort, she takes dedication, and she takes commitment. And it's not going to be easy. You're going to have to discipline yourself. You are going to have to get serious with some things. You are going to have to, you know, ask God for direction, understanding, all of those things. You're going to have to do some things along this journey that you're not even used to. And here's the number one key: because you are dedicating more and because you are getting more serious about yourself and where you want to go in life and who you are and who you're choosing to become, get ready for those tests and get ready for those challenges because they are coming. And when they come, they are coming hard. I would not lie to you on tonight to say that my tests and my challenges have not gotten harder. They have got extremely hard, extremely hard. Sometimes it puts you in the spotlight. Man, when I wasn't thinking about nothing, when I wasn't doing nothing with my life, when I didn't understand where I wanted to go or what I needed, or when I was dealing with the wrong man, you know, things seemed to be more manageable. I wasn't this stressed. But now that I got my head on right and I'm focused, I'm determined, I'm motivated, I'm not only trying to keep myself up to par, but I'm trying to encourage other women who are just as willing as me. They come harder. The tests come harder. So you have to be able to also sustain the test and sustain the challenges that are attached to the becoming woman, the woman that you so desire to be. Okay, right on time. With 30 minutes left, I want to tap into the stages of becoming this woman. And when I tell y'all, this live, as y'all know, if if you was watching my page, you know this live was supposed to have been done probably before my birthday in October. And I decided not to do it because I wanted to take October and I wanted to just release and deal with my birthday and deal with Keyshawn's, passing, everything. I wanted to just approach the grief and stay out of that depressive state and just deal with Keisha. And I want to say either the end of last week or the early part of this week, God began to download some different things in these stages of becoming. God began to, God downloaded this to me sitting right at my desk at work. God downloaded these things to me. And I believe that this may be for somebody. God downloaded into me the stages of becoming. The stages of becoming this woman. The first one is preparation. The becoming woman causes you to prepare yourself. There is something that you need to prepare for. Depending on where you are striving to go or who you're striving to be, preparation is needed. We it's no ifs, no buts about it. Preparation is needed. And when we're talking about preparation, We are talking about surrendering ourselves completely, entirely, to become this woman, to gain the understanding and the direction that we need to move forward. So the first stage of becoming this woman is preparing yourself, preparation. And when we are talking about preparation, we're talking about committing yourself to the process. I have a scripture for each of these stages: preparation, surrendering yourself, committing yourself to the process. Psalms 37:5. Commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will do this. When you commit yourself, not only to the process, but you commit yourself to God, you look forward to Him for the understanding, you trust Him for a sense of direction, He will, He will render that sense of security that you need 100%. So the first stage would be preparation. The second step is release. When I'm referring to release, I'm referring to detoxing from the issue. Whatever the issue is, whatever, what's the word I'm looking for? Whatever the distraction is, or whatever the temptation is coming from, you got to detox from it. You got to detox from that issue. And when I am speaking of detoxing, I am talking about waiting patiently. Detoxing and waiting patiently. Psalms 46:10 says, be still, let go, and let God. Be still, let go, and let God. The third stage is transformation. Transformation. When we are talking about transformation, we're talking about change. We're talking about stability. Here's that word again. We are talking about discipline. Change, stability, and discipline. When we are transforming, we are changing. When we are transforming, we are finding a sense of stability. And we are transforming, we are gaining that need of discipline that we need. Transformation is doing the work required. Doing the work that's required. Romans 12:2 says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. When your mindset is right, you can do anything. I don't care if you are trying to go somewhere and you have not transitioned mentally, it's going to be hard. But when you begin to mentally see yourself already there, when you begin to mentally talk to yourself and encourage yourself, and you begin to seek confidence, you begin to feel good about yourself and all of those wonderful things, the journey becomes easier. The journey becomes more exciting. The journey becomes encouraging. And then the last stage of becoming this woman would be breakthrough. Breakthrough. When I speak of breakthrough, I'm talking about restoration, and I'm talking about recovery. Breakthrough. We're talking about rejoicing in it. Rejoicing in the outcome of what God has allowed to happen, what God has produced, the blessings that God has set forth. Rejoicing in it. Psalms 30:5 says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Stages of becoming. This live has been way overdue. But what I realized this week, the end of last week, the beginning of this week, that even when God or things happen and they seem as a setback, they seem needing to be postponed or delayed, those are some of through those times, like God just gives you more. I'll tell you no lie. Had I done this live the beginning of October before my birthday, I would not have had this much insight to share, because I knew I wanted to talk about the becoming woman. And the reason why I want to talk about the becoming woman is because you have to want her bad. You have to be, man, you have to crave for her. Not only do you have to crave for her, you have to, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you just have to take hold of her. Like, and you really have to examine, you have to reflect, you have to do some self evaluation about where you are, who you desire to be, and what it's going to take to get there. The becoming woman causes you to dedicate effort, commitment, and discipline. Again, had I did this live before my birthday, I would not have been able to basically go this deep into it. And sitting at my desk and having God just give me preparation, release, preparation, release, transformation, and breakthrough. And I'm telling you, in less than 20 minutes, God gave it to me. I said, okay, God, I hear you. And it was that time that I shared it with my coworker and said, God, look, I would begin to share with her and say, look, this is what God just gave me. Like, in the midst of literally 15, 20 minutes, it didn't take that much to write it down. God already gave it to me. And that's when I realized that things that are delayed, postponed, that set you back, don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. Don't let them get the best of you. Go into the mindset that when things are set back, delayed, interrupted, distracted, okay, this is happening for a reason. Don't worry. Maybe God is trying to show you something through this delayed moment. Maybe God is trying to show you something through that setback. Maybe God is trying to show you something through that distraction. And here's the key. That's going to make the message, the experience, the relationship, the heartbreak, the marriage, the divorce, the medical circumstance, the health circumstance, the child, the spouse, the mate, the friend, the job, the finance. He's trying to show you something through all of those circumstances. So on tonight, I will share with somebody, like, don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged when those times come and they take you off track. And you probably done sat down and tried to, and you done figured out from 1 to 10. But now this moment come and it's done took you off track. And it's done messed up everything that you done put on paper, everything that you done recorded, everything that you done planned. Just ask God, what are you trying to show me through this? What do you need me to take on through this to make what you've given me, the vision, the idea, the situation, the topic, make it better? Make it better. The becoming woman, the beautiful, the bold, and the becoming. She takes work. She takes work. And along this journey, you have to be serious about the person that you are desiring to be. Here's the thing. Don't strive to be like nobody else. The becoming woman, she's one of a kind. She's one of a kind. She doesn't compare herself to anybody else. She doesn't feel the need to judge anybody else just to make herself feel good. She don't do any of that. She finds confidence in herself. As I said earlier, she deals with her inner circumstances, inner issues, whether that's trust issues, whether that's insecurities, whether that's self-esteem, whether that's self-identity, whether that's self-value, whether that's self-worth. She deals with all of that. And here's the thing. The becoming woman, doesn't feel bad about it. You know why? Because she's attempting to change. She's in the stage of becoming her, becoming healed. In the beginning of this live, if you missed it, I said the becoming woman, becoming her. Her stands for healed, encouraged, and restored. So don't feel bad that right now you may be off track, but you're still pushing, that you may be still quick tempered, but you are working towards a sense of discipline or self control. Don't be discouraged. Don't feel bad. You are attempting, you are trying, you are dedicating more than you did. You are serious about this thing. You are committed to this thing. You are determined to this thing. You've given God your yes. That if God, if you help me to become this woman, I'll help another woman along the way. That's what I tell her. So the becoming woman, she takes a lot of work. She takes a lot of work. In the beginning of this live, I spoke about the three key areas. The three key areas. I spoke about the qualities, the steps, and the characteristics. So if you are watching on tonight, I ask that you think about those three areas of your life when you are thinking about this woman that you want to become. What are the current qualities that you have right now? What are the current steps that you know that you need to take to become this woman? And what characteristics stand out about you right now that reflects this woman? The becoming woman, she puts forth every effort. She does everything she needs to do to become the best her. It was something else that I wanted to, no, I did it. Um, this topic was just what I just couldn't get past this topic, the becoming woman. Um, Man, all my life I've been desiring to become this woman, the woman I am today. I wanted to become the woman that could run after her purpose. I wanted to become the woman that could be involved with a man and he also became involved in my purpose. I wanted to be and become the woman that would be bold enough to live for God and not feel the shame and not feel that I had to hide my shine. I wanted to become the woman that would dedicate her best effort, that would be commit herself to the journey, commit herself to the process. I wanted to become the woman that can learn how to equip herself for the distractions, for the tests, for the challenges. I wanted to become the woman that can let go of her past issues, the trust, um, the bad character, the quick temper, um, the woman to transition from that woman that could just find confidence in herself to not let the words I can't keep her stuck, that will release herself from the strongholds. And I'm speaking to some woman on tonight as I am saying these things. You are that woman. You are dealing with, or you have dealt with, some of those issues, and they have you stuck as you are watching me tonight on this live. And I say to you, push forward to become, to become, to the becoming woman, to the woman that is willing to let go of her strongholds, the woman that will not let her past keep her from pursuing her purpose, to becoming her best, achieving her highest, dedicating and understanding her worth, being able to love herself and love on others. Become that woman on tonight. So often we stay stuck in this comfortable spot. We stay stuck in this in this spot of fear, not being willing or not knowing how to step out or even wanting to step out, but just doubting ourselves. Don't do that. The becoming woman steps out even in the midst of her doubt, even in the midst of her fear. She is praying along the way and she is asking God to show me if this is for me. And if this is for me, give me the strength along this journey. And then when I make it, allow me to help another woman make it. And that's what I ask God to do along my personal journey, to help me help others. Because just because I'm here right now, I may have a weakness, I may have a fault, I may have a flaw that another woman may need to help me with. But here's the word: I am becoming. I'm becoming her, the healed woman, the encouraged woman, and the restored woman. So on tonight, I say to somebody, make the commitment on tonight that you're going to strive to become healed. And here's the thing: when we're talking about healed, we are healing. It's an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing thing. But submit yourself to the process of healing. Submit yourself to the process of learning how to encourage yourself. Submit yourself to the process that is going to set you up for the stage of restoration, for your stage of recovery. And when you do those things, I promise you, these stages right here will become easier. Preparation will become easy, manageable. You will be eager to release. You'll be eager to let go of that dysfunctional, toxic relationship. You'll be able to say, I'm letting go and I'm letting God handle that. You'll be eager to release. Transformation will become exciting. You get excited about it. And then lastly, when that breakthrough happens, man, people not going to understand your excitement. They're not going to understand your excitement. And on tonight, I just wanted to share the becoming woman. She takes work. I don't come, even if it wasn't Love Talk with Keisha, the healing stage, and if it was something else, you know, I could pick anything to probably laugh and joke and have fun. I'm the type of person where I like to encourage on the lines of things that are going to help us grow. Don't get me wrong, I like to laugh. I like to have fun. But I realize that growth is a special thing for us. That you cannot allow yourself to stay in the same spot and expect to end up in a different place. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to step beyond comfort. You're going to have to commit to some new things. You're going to have to make some sacrifices. You're going to have to change some things. You're going to have to step back from some people. You're going to have to cut some people off. You're going to have to just be direct and express really what it is. I struggled with that for so long. I was afraid to speak up for myself because of what people was used to and how they would take me in my moment of transformation. But now I understand that God allowed me to be able to speak up and to speak out because it's connected to my purpose. I have to be able to use my voice effectively. So on tonight, I say to some woman, keep striving to become her. Keep striving to be her. Dedicate everything that you can to like just obtain her. Pray to God for the strength, for the direction, for the understanding, for the knowledge that you need. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to connect with other women. Ask for help if needed. When it comes to this spiritual warfare, I'm telling you, I've been speaking to a whole lot of people. I never really understood. I always heard of it, but I never really understood. But I'm understanding that where God has me right now, I'm experiencing spiritual warfare. And it took people with more knowledge of spiritual warfare to give me verses to read, to say, watch this video. Maybe this will help you understand. To give me scriptures. So sometimes the place that you are trying to go and the things that you need to become this woman, it's not meant for you to get it all on your own. Other people, God may have other people that may be connected to allow you to get that understanding, to gain that sense of direction, to get that sense of knowledge that you need. So many times in life we try to do it on our own. And God had to show me recently a this is not a step for you to take on your own, but it is a step for you to be cautious of who you include in your circle. So I say to someone like fear, comfort, the becoming woman has to step beyond those two things. She just has to walk in courage. She has to walk in confidence. And God has given me this as I speak it, y'all. And she has to walk in completeness. Okay? Courage, confidence, and completeness. And I'm about to write that down because God just gave me that as I was speaking. She has to walk in courage. She has to walk in confidence. And she has to walk in completeness. Man, I love that. This is what God does. That's how I know that I'm supposed to do this. Again, had I done this before my birthday, it would not have been this deep. So again, to whoever this Friday Night Live was helpful to, I pray that you may even go back and watch it again, that you may share it with someone else. Because everything that I have brought forth tonight, God gave it to me word for word. I just wrote it down on paper and spoke it, but God gave it to me. Over 2 months, I've been building up this live. So on tonight, I just say continue to pursue her, continue to be her, and continue to dedicate everything that's needed. And I'm excited. I want to see you there. I want some woman to take the steps that I've taken and to call me, text me, comment on a live, and say, Keisha, man, I understand what you're saying. Like I'm in that place. I did it. I stepped past the fear. I stepped past the comfort. I gave God my yes. I put him first. I worked on myself. And he began to set up the blessings. He began to arrange the breakthrough. He began to work through miracles. I crave for some woman that follow me, that's connected to me, to be able to share those words with me one day and say, Keisha, I experienced I get a lot of people that say, how they want to, step into the whole life transformational coaching, but they're just not there yet, whether it's fear, whether it's their budget. Um, but here's the thing. If right now, if all you can do is watch a Friday Night Live or watch a Saturday episode of Love Talk with Keisha, keep going, because I'm never going to stop. I'm going to be doing this until the day that I die. But I also encourage you to move beyond Love Talk with Keisha and challenge yourself a little bit more. If you feel that self-love ministry, if you feel that Coach K, if you feel that Love Talk with Keisha, the things that I represent through my books, through my ministry, are a blessing to you. Don't stop there. Because here's the thing. Had I stopped with just the things that were handed to me for free, I wouldn't be as effective as I am now. And I say to somebody, ending this live with 4 minutes, the things that you need, you're going to have to make some sacrifices for. The things that you need to become the woman that you want to be, everything's not going to come for free. You're going to have to put in some work. You're going to have to do some new things. So I hope that this live tonight with Love Talk with Keisha Friday episode has been a blessing. With 3 minutes left, as always, I am going to pray. I appreciate everyone that has watched this live. I pray that this live, again, has strengthened you, encouraged you, motivated you, uplifted you in some way or some form. And just continue to pray for me. Continue to pray for me. Continue to pray that God will continue to download whatever He has for me into me. If you have any suggestions, any topics, any ideas, anything that you would personally like me to talk about or deliver, I can always put something together as long as I have the right amount of time, because I like to talk about the things that are going to challenge people to grow. Laughing is good and fun is good, but when you begin to grow and you begin to step out of like your norm, you begin to feel confident about yourself. It puts you in one of those modes where, man, I didn't know I could do this. I've been allowing myself to be stuck there for all this time when I had all of this in me, and that's the place I want to see everybody that watches me or follows me. With 2 minutes left, I am going to pray. Dear God, I come to you just to say thank you. God, I come to you just to say thank you for someone that may be watching this live, someone that may watch the replay. I pray that something that I said or that I mentioned may touch them mentally, that may challenge them to push forward, to not stop, and to become committed, to include you in the process, to trust you along the way. I'm just to equip them with everything they need for the process that they're about to step into. I pray that you may give them the understanding, you may connect them with the right people, that you may adhere them with the right tools and the right resources to become that woman, the better woman, the becoming woman, the healed woman, the encouraged woman, the restored woman. God, on tonight, somebody watching this may be hurt. Somebody watching this may be dealing with disappointment, shame, guilt, sadness, depression, mental illness, whatever it may be, God. I pray that you may begin to render recovery, restoration into their lives, that you may give them a sense of understanding to step into a committed stage so that they can begin to form growth. They can begin to detach from the things that have them stuck in brokenness. They begin to get to a point where they will be willing to let go of those strongholds and not allow the distractions and the things that come against them and tempt them and discourage them to keep them stuck. God, I pray that you continue to bless each and everyone's household. Continue to watch over our kids and watch over our families. Continue to protect us, guide us, and lead us amongst the journey that you may have each one of us to step into along the way. I pray that you continue to keep all of us healthy, provide our every need, and just allow us to grow deeper into you. These are all of our blessings and requests I ask in your name. Amen. Thank you, thank you, thank you for watching on tonight. Until next time, I love you and be safe.